Sup guys, so we got new Star Wars, Marvel, and DC sets coming out in January, my three favorite things. Finally got some official photos on the LEGO website of all the sets, so I'm going to take a look, give my thoughts, let you guys know which ones I'm probably going to be picking up. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so I think I'm just going to go in order, whatever is first on this coming soon section. That seems like the easiest way to do it, I guess. So obviously first we've got the very anticipated ARC 170 Starfighter. This is pretty crazy to see. I don't think I ever had one of the earlier ARC 170s growing up, but I think I remember my neighbor did, and I used to go over to his house a lot and we'd play Legos together. I'd bring some of mine over, he'd have his. I did have some of the opposing droid ships though, but this is pretty awesome. We're finally getting a new one after all these years. Does seem like it's slightly downscaled from the other two. Pretty much the only glaring downscaled section I'm noticing are the wings. They seem a little bit short. I still think it looks good though. I'm not super concerned about it. And obviously all three pilots, we get all three pilots and they all fit in the ship. Like, that is pretty huge. None of the previous versions came with all three pilots, so like that's awesome on its own. Obviously the price seems a little bit steep. It's going to be $69.99 here in the US. The hope is that it would go on sale, maybe on Amazon, you'll find it 10 or 15 bucks cheaper at some point. This is definitely one of my highly anticipated sets, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait until it goes on sale. I might have to pick this one up right when it comes out. But ideally, eventually I would pick up a second copy of it, so maybe I'll get one right when it comes out and then I'll wait and see if it goes on sale and then pick up another one, or use some like Amazon credit that I have or Lego points or whatever. If I had to point out a few gripes on this, I have a couple. The place where they put the stud shooters, sometimes they do a good job of kind of hiding the stud shooters, but on this one they're in a spot where another blaster needs to be. So I sort of get the thought process, but if you look at pictures, there's supposed to be a shorter blaster right here, and they kind of just replaced that with the stud shooter, so I'm not a huge fan of that. That's going to be something that I'll need a mod immediately, because I just don't keep stud shooters on any of my sets. So it would have been nice if they found a way to sort of hide the stud shooters a little bit better. And then my second gripe would be the bottom looks a little off. I think if you look at photos of the ARC 170, like from Clone Wars, the animated, or Revenge of the Sith, it is sort of flat on the bottom, but it's also, rounded out on these sides. And this is just using all the flat plates, and they have studs popping out all over. That doesn't look the best, but it's definitely going to be easy to display. It's going to sit nice and flat on the desk or whatever. So yeah, that just looks a little bit awkward, but then again, maybe it has something to do with the mechanism that they made to pop the wings out, But otherwise, I think it's going to look good when you have it in this attack position or whatever. It's definitely a much sleeker look now than the previous versions. They're not using the wheels for these engines anymore. That looks really clean. That looks really smooth. But yeah, overall, I think it looks really good. I think a lot of people are going to be really happy about this, especially with the minifig selection that it comes with. All three pilots and then the astromech droid. That is really solid. Alright, moving on to the next set. We got like some 4+ DC and Marvel sets. I'm going to skip these. I don't really have any interest in these. I already have the last Mr. Freeze that they did, so I'm not going to bother with either of these. We got another 4+ Marvel Spider-Man set. I think these are based on like some animated show. I'm not going to be picking up this one either. It is slightly annoying, I gotta say, to see that they still haven't made a comic accurate Electro. I have all the other Electro minifigs. I love Electro. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. So to see that they, kind of went out of their way to make this comic accurate female version, but then they still haven't given us a proper comic accurate version, that's a little tough to see, but whatever, maybe we'll get one eventually. Alright, so next one, the Superman mech versus Lex Luthor. This one I'm a little torn on. I might be picking it up. I'm still undecided. It is pretty funny that they gave Superman a mech instead of Lex Luthor. Lex is typically the one that would be using a mech suit to fight Superman. He's the one that needs one after all, so this is pretty funny to see. That being said though, the mech actually, like if you're into mechs, it actually looks really solid as far as the mechs go. I like those jets on the back. The color scheme looks really good. So objectively speaking, like for the mech, I think it does look really solid, but I kind of would have liked to see a Lex mech instead. Obviously that makes way more sense. But obviously, like if you're a little older and you're a DC fan, you're getting this set pretty much for the minifigs. And as far as the minifigs go, Lex looks really good. He's got some really nice torso and leg printing. I believe that's the same head as we just got for Professor X. That's kind of an older head. That's always been the Lex head from what I remember. So maybe if you wanted to make like a Professor X variant or something, this is a cheap way to get an extra head for him. So that's not bad. The Superman minifig, I'm pretty torn on. This one is kind of lacking, to be honest. I really wish we got like some leg printing or dual molded legs. Maybe one of those leg pieces where like basically the trim is red and then the rest is blue to kind of emulate the trunks that he wears. And then I can't really tell if that's supposed to be one of the newer soft capes, but I'm really not a fan of the newer capes with just the one single hole because they kind of poof out. They only really look good if the character has some kind of helmet or hood on to like push the cape down. So otherwise I think this is probably gonna look kind of bad. Ideally, they would have included one of the newer like rubber solid capes. I'm actually a big fan of those. I just think it makes them easier to display and store. So that's what I would have liked to see. So yeah, I'm pretty torn on this set because I don't actually have a Superman minifig. I have majority of the other Justice League characters, and that's something that I am building towards. I'd like to have the full Justice League, you know? And I don't have a current Lex minifig either. So I'm still kind of deciding if I'm going to pick this set up. I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's only $14.99, and then on Amazon, I'd probably be able to get it cheaper eventually. So I might end up getting this, but yeah, it is pretty disappointing to see that this is the Superman we're going to be getting. It's definitely lacking. We got Mando and Grogu's N1 Starfighter. I don't need to say too much about this. I think it's a decent idea for a set. $29.99 seems a little steep. It's like a super small micro fighter, but the minifig selection is pretty solid. That's like the best version of Mando that you can get, and he's got the dark saber with the newer piece, the new blade piece. And then you got, what is that, R5D4. He's a classic droid. He used to be kind of rare. He only came in like the UCS Sandcrawler and then a few other really old sets. So it's kind of cool that you can get him in a cheaper set now, I guess. But yeah, I probably won't be picking this one up. We'll see. Next page, we got another Captain America Civil War diorama set. This is probably a skip for me. I pretty much have all these minifigs already, or slightly different versions of them. They're all solid minifigs, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think the movie Marvel sets that we've been getting, they just keep recreating the same scenes a lot, and it's getting kind of old. So yeah, this one's a skip for me. Marvel logo and minifig set. This is a cool idea for sure. It looks cool. That'd be a nice display. Minifig selection, I'd say, is lacking a little bit. Just to give Hulk the generic gray legs, that's kind of lame. And then you guys know how I feel about Thor, like what they've done to Thor's face. He looks awful. I would never get a new Thor minifig while they keep making him with that goofy face. So moving on, a couple more Marvel sets. Yeah, a lot of people are just going to be getting these sets for the minifigs, I would assume, if you don't have them already. Red Hulk's getting a lot of love lately. That's cool to get him in like a minifig form, though his legs, just the generic black legs, that's a little bit lame. I'll probably be skipping this one. What is this? Yeah, so Anti-Venom, I'll probably skip this one as well. The Spider-Woman minifig, this one looks really good. Venom looks good if you don't have a Venom minifig already. The car looks good too. It almost looks like a Ghost Rider type car, so maybe you could trick it out if you got a Ghost Rider minifig. Yeah, I'm just going to skip these. There's a bunch of Marvel Spider-Man type sets that I don't need. We're getting a new tumbler. If I'm not mistaken, the last one we got, the one I have, that one's from 2019. The one from 2019 feels newer to me though, because I didn't build it up until like less than a year ago, I think. I just had it sealed in storage for so long. And I think the older one actually looks better than this one. But this one still looks pretty solid. And the minifig selection is probably better than the 2019 one. We're finally getting like a cheaper way to get the Heath Ledger Joker. That is sick. And then we finally get a Harvey Dent or Two-Face minifig from The Dark Knight. That is really awesome. So I'm probably going to have to pick those two minifigs up from Bricklink eventually. I don't think I'll end up getting the set because I don't need another tumbler. I like the one that I have. But yeah, that is a sick Heath Ledger Joker. I got to get that. Moving on, Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. This is another set that I'm pretty torn on. You guys know that, my Star Wars is episode 1 through 6. Anything else I don't really care as much about. So, Ahsoka's a cool character. I've just never been super into her. And I don't know, it feels a little bit like we're getting Ahsoka overload lately. And as far as my collecting goes, like I said, I pretty much only collect minifigs and vehicles and ships that have appeared in those original 6 movies. And part of that is just to save my wallet, because if I venture too far out of those parameters, I'm just going to be broke and I'm going to be buying every Star Wars set and I can't be doing that. So, but that being said, the minifig selection is really good. That is a solid Ahsoka minifig. That might be one of the best that we've ever gotten. She looks super detailed, and the red and orange, the contrasting colors, those just look really good. Anakin looks solid. Astromech, that's a nice color combo as well. But yeah, like I said, I'm torn because I would have liked to see an Obi-Wan Interceptor instead, that's just me, my bias. We haven't gotten Obi-Wan's Interceptor, the Revenge of the Sith version, since 2016, and I didn't get that when that one was out, so I don't have an Obi-Wan Interceptor, but I have Anakin's, so obviously I need both, to recreate scenes and stuff. So I could always get this one and mod it to Obi-Wan's color scheme, because his is red too, but it's slightly different. I think it has less red than Ahsoka's. There's more gray in the front and stuff like that, and then the cockpit I don't think has any red on it. So I don't exactly know what I do about that, unless that is a sticker and it's just a clear cockpit windshield kind of piece. That would make it easier to mod for sure. But that being said, it is a really good Interceptor build. They definitely made some really nice improvements from some of the previous ones, especially in the back. It just has more depth. It looks more filled out, And like I said before with the ARC 170, sometimes LEGO does a good job of hiding the stud shooters and other times they don't. In this case, they did a really good job of kind of hiding those stud shooters underneath. And it would probably be really easy to just swap them out with a normal brick, which I usually end up doing, if it's easy to replace them. So that's definitely what I like to see as far as the stud shooters go. Yeah, I can't lie. It's a really nice build. I just personally wish we were getting Obi-Wan instead, So, yeah, I'm just going to cry about that a bit. But I know a lot of people are excited about this. I know people love Ahsoka, so, there you go. Alright, yeah, so that was it as far as Star Wars, Marvel, and DC go. Yeah, so closing thoughts, I'm definitely going to be picking up the ARC 170, maybe a couple of them eventually. This is a super hype set. Super sick to see. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still deciding on the Superman mech set. We'll see about that one. Everything else I think is a skip for me, except maybe the Ahsoka Interceptor. We'll see about that one too. Since the last Obi-Wan Interceptor we got was in 2016, I could almost see them giving us another one in 2026. So maybe I just got to be a little patient and wait and see if we get one in a year or two. So yeah, I'm just going to ponder that set a bit. Maybe that one will go on sale eventually too for $30. That might be worth it if that happens. So we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know which ones you guys are going to be picking up in January. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.